There was once a woodcutter and his wife who lived in the woods in a humble cabin with their 2 sons, Hansel and Gretel. They worked hard to feed them, but they never earned enough. One day, seeing that they were no longer able to feed them and the children were very hungry, the marriage sat at the table and bitterly had to make a decision. We cannot do anything else. We will leave them in the woods in the hope that someone with a good heart and a better situation than we can take care of them, said the mother. The children, who could not sleep with hunger, heard the whole conversation and began to cry as soon as they knew the end that awaited them. Hansel, the child, said to his sister, "Do not worry. I'll find a way back home. Trust me." So the next day the 4 of them went into the woods. The children stayed by a bonfire, and soon fell asleep. When they woke up there was no trace of their parents, and little Gretel began to cry. "Do not cry, Hansel. I've been leaving bits of bread all along the way. We just have to wait for the moon to come out and we can see the path that will take us home." But the moon came out and there was no trace of the pieces of bread. They had been eaten by the pigeons. So the children walked lost through the forest until they were exhausted and could not take another step of their hunger. Just then, they found a dream house made of bread and covered with sponge cake and whose windows were made of sugar. They were so hungry, they hurried to eat on it. Suddenly, the door of the house opened and an old woman appeared, who looked kind. "Hello children, what are you doing here? Are you hungry?" The poor children nodded. "Come on inside and I'll make you something very rich." The old woman fed them and offered them a bed to sleep on. But despite his kindness, there was something odd about her. Early in the morning, he picked up Hansel and locked him in the barn while the poor man kept shouting, "Here you will stay until you get fat." In very bad ways he woke his sister and told him to go to the water to prepare something to eat, because his brother had to put on weight as soon as possible to eat it. Little Gretel realized then that she was not an old woman, but an evil witch. Days passed and the witch was impatient because she did not see Hansel fattening, since when he told her to show him a finger to see if he had gained weight, he always deceived her with a bone by taking advantage of his blindness. So one day the witch got tired and decided not to wait any longer. "Gretel, prepare the oven that you will need bread," he ordered the girl. The girl imagined something terrible, and knew that as soon as the witch was lost, she would throw it into the oven. "I do not know how it's done," said the girl. "Silly girl. Remove from the middle." Hansel and Gretel. When the witch tucked her head into the oven, the little girl gave him a good push and closed the door. Then he ran to the stable to free his brother. The 2 little ones embraced and cried with joy when they saw that they had come out alive from that horrible situation. They were about to leave when it occurred to them to look around the house of the witch, and what a surprise! They found boxes filled with pearls and precious stones, so they filled their pockets and set out to go home. But when they came to the river and saw that there was neither a board nor a boat to cross them, they thought they would not make it. Luckily a gentle duck passed by and gently helped them across the river. On the other side of the bank, they kept running until they saw their parents' house in the distance, and they were very happy when they saw them appear, and even more, when they saw what they had hidden in their pockets. At that moment they knew that they would live the rest of their happy days all 4 and without any hardship.